We are back on MorningLine. Thanks for joining us, talking Social Security. This is not Josh Horn. It's not. But he learned from Josh, and he's here. Jason Weaver, as you know, he was on with us, I think, last time. And Josh, under the weather, you're flying solo today, and I'm glad to have you on. Very knowledgeable. It's good to have him here. The number is 737-7587. If you have any questions, we covered some of the ground on Social Security. We've got some lines open if you want to jump in. Let's go to Donald. Donald, good morning. Hi, Donald.
Good morning.
Good morning. How can we help you, sir?
Yeah, I got a question. I have recently found out that there is monies and benefits that were not paid to me by Social Security that I was unaware of, and Social Security is not releasing this information to me due to the fact that I was approved for Social Security disability, full disability in 2007. I applied in 2008. And I was the head of household. I was the sole income of a family of 4. And I applied for Social Security disability. I applied for, under my impression, was benefits for my wife, you know, basically I guess they call it like spousal support benefits, and then 2 minor children. Okay. And I was approved for Social Security disability. I've even had an attorney, and I had ended up in the long run had to fight my case solo by myself before the judge due to the fact of these law firms don't do exactly what they're supposed to be doing for you. And I even had Hughes and Coleman, and because of a workman's comp doctor, he dropped my case without even trying to find out what the situation was, because my workman's comp doctor sent a letter to my attorney stating that I was purchasing morphine illegally on the streets because I found him out to not be doing what he was court ordered to do to my workman's comp settlement, lifetime medical.
Now this is getting complicated here. So did you ever get any benefit at all?
Yes, I started my benefits with 2 years back pay because I didn't have an attorney.
Okay, so what is it that you did not get? I mean, you're wondering if
nothing for my wife, nothing for my children, and any of that. And now I found out that there is monies there, but the Social Security Administration will not release any of that information to me because my child is aged out. My child is 30 now, and I also had a stepchild that I fully supported. And
okay, well, how does that work? He's still on the line if you have a follow questions, but without getting into some of the other details about his doctors and lawyers, what about getting the benefit for his family and what might have happened there, if we're hearing the full story here?
So how this works is if someone's found to be disabled and they have a spouse and they have minor children for us would be 16 and younger. That wife can go ahead and get what's called a child and care benefit for any children under the age of 16, or if they're older than 16 and they're disabled, they can still get that benefit as well. What it sounds like is we possibly did not take an application, or if we took an application, there was insufficient evidence to go ahead and pay that case.
Meaning that you didn't know he had a family, maybe?
We may have known that he had a family, but we would need to prove relationship with a birth certificate, maybe a marriage license to go ahead and document that there was a marriage involved. So there could be multiple reasons why there's still money left to be paid to you. My recommendation would be to contact our office or come into our office so that we can get this issue resolved for you.
Okay, so give it a try. He says, and I'm sure he'd probably tell you that he's tried that and hasn't. Look, you've got Jason here, and he says come in, address that. The one thing, and when he mentioned about attorneys, and attorneys do specialize this. He mentioned one firm. There's a lot of fine firms that do this. My take on attorneys when they handle these cases, if there's a strong case and there's money to be made, they don't just walk away. Attorneys are all about the cabbage. And so I don't know if this became more complex or if perhaps the attorneys came across something here where they realized we don't think he qualifies for this benefit, so we're going to step aside because we're not going to get paid. I don't know what happened here. Are there some incompetent attorneys out here? I'm not saying his firm is, but are there others that maybe didn't do a good job here and there in other cases I've heard? Perhaps. But in general, attorneys don't walk away from a potentially lucrative case.
That is accurate.
Okay, I'm just saying. And again, I don't know what's the situation with him, and maybe get back with them and have them take another look at it if there was more back pay going that way for them.
Correct.
Would that be something then where if it was resolved, if he gets back in touch with your office, where they could go back to that and there would be back pay for, even though his son is now 30? Because it was owed him when he had to make do when he was younger, if that's the case.
Correct. We have what's called protective filing. In individual files, like this caller here, and his family's protected with the date that he filed. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll actually close them out. So we'll give them 6 months from the time that we pay the case. If that time has elapsed, there may not be any money to go ahead and pay retro. But most of the time, we'll work with individuals directly. So unless they're a minor child, that application for his spouse would have to be filed by his spouse. And that's probably why we are reluctant to speak to him directly, as we like to talk to people on a one-on-one basis, unless they have a representative payee.
Okay, well, and as Donald just, I think, illustrated well for us, these cases can be very complex. There's other moving parts to it, and so that's a tough situation, Donald. As I would say with all these cases, if you believe you've got a case, don't give up, because it should never sunset. If indeed you win, you'll get the money, but that's a difficult road sometimes. So let's go to Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Good morning.
Good morning.
How can we help you, ma'am?
Is this Talk the Town Plus?
No, this is Nick Barris on MorningLine. Aren't you watching us right now? You had to know to call, right?
Yes, I am. Okay. I got a story for you. I was disabled, and I tried unsuccessfully to get jobs. And so I found one with Social Security because I had tried to get Social Security and couldn't. So I went and applied for a job for Social Security, and I was told, we can't hire you because you can't lift a box of paper. I said, no, I can lift one skein of paper at a time, and I know I can do the job. Oh, we had this problem all the time. Okay, so then a lady down the street, she had a twitch in her face. She wasn't working. Her husband had lots of money, and she had political clout with some at-large councilmen, and she got disability.
Huh. Well, yeah, you look, you can never tell. As far as, I don't know if she meant she was applying for a job with Social Security or anywhere else, you have to be able to do the job one way or the other. Now, she claims that she can carry one pallet at a time instead of several papers. You know, as far as her friend down the road, look, I'm not naive. Do sometimes people in a position have, but I don't know that politics, you are such a big administration. Can a politician pick up a phone and say, I want to get benefits for a constituent?
Not normally.
Okay.
Not normally. I have not run into this. I've been with the agency almost 11 years. I have not seen where a politician can make a phone call. Now, if you're having trouble with your case and you're filing for disability benefits, you can go to your senator, to your congressman or woman, and have them advocate for you, and that will in some instances try to expedite your case a little bit to get some clarity as to what's going on with it. But I have never seen where a politician has been able to go ahead and just rubber stamp someone getting disability.
Okay, and if we go back to people trying to go to work, if they're disabled, as she said, but I respect her for wanting to try to work, and she's kind of said she thinks she could in a certain capacity.
Yes.
What is it called again if you're drawing a disability check, but you want to give it a shot? You've got the 9-month
trial work period.
Trial work period.
Well,
you can earn as much as you want in that
Make
period.
whatever you want in that period.
Give it a shot.
It's a test. It's a test to be able to see if you can return to the workforce in some capacity, and it allows you to test the waters and basically make whatever you want.
Without risking losing your benefit.
Without risking losing your benefit, correct.
That's a big deal. And talking about losing benefit, one thing when we come back, we've got more calls we'll take. And you know it gets busy. Jump in. We've got the lines open. 737-7587. If you're on hold, stay there. About scams that are out there and the way they scare people. I got 2 calls last week. One from the IRS, not, and one from Social Security, not. Both saying that there were some paperwork issues and I better give them some of my personal information or I'm going to lose my benefit. And it's a bunch of crap. You get a call like that, hang up and don't give it a second thought. It's crap. Promise you. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more calls right after this.